Hey again, everybody. Okay, so for today's class, yesterday you were assigned your teams, your content area, and you began taking notes. So hopefully you've gotten quite a good chunk of those done. Did some for homework last night. Because the idea is today, by the end of class, you are pushing turn in on those notes. And you are also moving on to your Google Slides presentation. So what I want you to do now is go to your Colonies Project Overview doc. Remember that that's on Classroom. So you guys go and open that up. Give you a minute. Okay. I want you to scroll down to page 3. There's a highlighted yellow title that says Google Slides Presentation. Okay. So after your notes are finished, then you can begin your Google Slides, okay? So let's go over the directions for that right now so that as you finish, those people can move along as needed. So, task. Create and present a Google Slides presentation to teach the class about your assigned region and content area. The content of your presentation should come from the notes that you took from your textbook. Here are the requirements, and I've kind of broken it down slide by slide. On slide 1, everyone will have your name, your assigned region, and your content area. So for example, that might say Lucy, Middle Colonies, Economy, okay? So those 3 things on your title slide. If you want to put a picture or anything else, that's fine as well, okay? Those 3 things need to be there. Slides 2 through question mark. Those are your content slides. Please have no more than 5, okay? So you might have anywhere from, 3 to 5 slides. Each of the content slides, however, should feature an appropriate heading, right? So if you're dividing some of your information, create a heading on your slide so that it's informing the reader of the topic of this particular chunk of information. Factual information from your notes in bullet point form. No complete sentences and no more than 3 facts per slide. Okay. Obviously, you guys have seen a lot of PowerPoints in your life, and one of the things that can make PowerPoints ineffective is when there's too much text. So we are really focusing on distilling everything down, putting only what you need. Okay. The idea is that just keywords and phrases will be on your slideshow, and you are elaborating on those in person. That also helps you prevent you from reading directly from your slides, which when you get graded on your presentation, we definitely want to avoid you reading directly from your slides. You should be expanding on the words or key phrases that are on the actual slide itself, okay? Each slide should have at least one relevant image, okay? So if you are talking about natural resources in the Middle Colonies, you might choose to put a nice photo of a wheat field or something along those lines. Please choose a readable font and colors that are easy to see, okay? I highly suggest, just to make your PowerPoint look more professional, that you stick with one font throughout, so be consistent, and make it a font that is readable and choose colors that are readable, okay? No yellow on white or anything like that. The content slides will be in the middle, and then obviously the final slide. Please list any web page that was used for the images, okay? So as you're grabbing your images, you need to copy the URL so that you have it for later. Maybe you open a blank Google Doc to keep track of all those things. That's up to you. You're also going to list your textbook as a source in the following format. Now I'm putting it in MLA. We will typically use that for humanities. There are different styles, but I've given you the MLA citation for our textbook. This should appear on everyone's end slide because all of you used your textbook as the source of information, okay? So you can see it down here, and you would simply copy and paste that onto your final slide, okay? So those are the requirements for the slides. Again, I think the highlight is just to remember that you have a title slide and end slide, and no more than 5 content slides. So the maximum that anyone in this class will have is 7 slides total, okay? So you are responsible for creating that, and then we obviously will be presenting those. So I'll set a presentation date once we are all back together and I can see that everyone's slides are done, okay? So you are not going to be presenting these on Monday. They're just going to be due next week, the completed slideshow. More on that in a moment. What I want you to do is go to the last document that I posted on Google Classroom, which was the Colonies Project Google presentation. If you open that up, you can see that I've made you just a very blank Google slide presentation, okay? I've put the requirements on the first slide. They're just there to remind you. If you want to keep it there until the end, you can. If you want to delete it, the same information is on the worksheet that we just read, okay? But it's there. Then I started you off with a title slide, okay? So I obviously would like everyone to do their slideshow here. Whatever stylistic choices you want to make to jazz this up, that's up to you, but I'd like you to do it here on this platform so that you can eventually turn it in, and then it's really easy for us to project these when it does come presentation time, okay? So again, same thing as yesterday. If you have questions, read the directions again, ask a friend. If you're still stuck and you've tried all those things, send me an email. I will do my best to respond to you, but also please do what you can and know that when we're back together on Monday, we can go over anything in person. Okay, so let's talk due dates. So at this point, by the end of this class, I would like you to be able to press turn in on your research notes. So I should see those come to me as completed, okay? One tricky thing is I'm not sure if you are still able to see your notes after you press turn in. Only students can, it only works on the student end. So at the end of the day, I can kind of check and see it even if you haven't pressed turn in, but you might obviously need to be looking at your notes so that you can make your slideshow. So you're going to have those due at the end of this class period, the notes. You should then start working on your slideshow, your Google Slides presentation, okay? That should be what you focus on in this class and for homework this weekend, okay? Ideally, you are coming into the class on Monday with your Google slideshow pretty much completed. I will come around and check. Everything should be there. I would say if there was something you had a question on, that might be something that's unfinished, but you should have everything done by the next time I see you so that I can come around, check, make sure you are all set. We can take care of any issues you had, and then we'll be ready to move on to our next step, okay? The sooner we get this part done, the sooner we are to moving on to the advertisement portion. So I want you guys to really work hard and take care of most of the slideshow. Presentations will not be happening until towards the end of the project, okay? So you will have time later in this project to maybe make your script, if that's how you're going to choose to present. But right now we are just focusing on the completion of the slides, and that is your goal for obviously this class and the end of next weekend, okay? So good luck. Again, this is kind of an on your own project. If there's someone on your team that you want to bounce ideas off of, that's fine. But generally we should be in the classroom working on our own and getting as much done as we can on a Friday. And I wish you guys the best of luck, and email me if you have questions, and have a great weekend. I am looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye.